I have a 2-year-old nephew that can pretty much ride a bike. Why would that information matter to you? It matters because it gave me an insight. It gave me... Is it more than an insight? I don't know. Okay, it just gave me a huge insight. He has a little bike that has just 2 wheels, but no pedals. So he can't really, ride the bike. He can't pedal the bike. He just has to push himself, and his little feet are on the floor, on the ground the whole time. So he pushes himself, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. And recently I saw a video of his with where his aunt, his other aunt, his mom's sister, he was teaching him how to lift his feet. And to my surprise, he did it. To my surprise, he lifted both feet, and as the bike was moving, he was able to keep going. And then whenever he felt like speed was running out, he would just place his 2 feet and, he wouldn't fall. And then I started thinking, how old was I when I started riding a bike and when I learned how to ride a bike, really ride without that 3rd, 4th little wheel in the back. So by looking at my nephew and how fast he learned how to ride that bike, it just got me thinking, you know what? This is an amazing analogy to translation. Learning English by associating it with Portuguese when you are a basic student, thinking that it's gonna be easier and faster, when in fact you are just setting yourself for trouble. You are just getting into that zone where it just gets scarier and scarier to let go of the 3rd and the 4th wheel. You don't want to let go because you're afraid of falling. I don't know, I don't remember how old I was, to be honest, but let's say I was 6 when my dad taught me how to ride a bike. I remember being scared to death of falling. And I'm not gonna make it, I'm gonna fall. And of course I fell. I fell a zillion times before I was able to balance myself on top of the bike. And when I look at my nephew, he is not afraid at all. He is able to balance and to find balance and to master that bike the way it is. It already, it came without the 3rd and the 4th wheel. There has never been one. So he's not afraid of that because he's already used it so many times that he knows how to handle it. He knows how to avoid a fall. And with English, I learned English without any translation from day 1. And I taught English without any translation to many students from day 1. But I have come across loads of students who joined, my class after having studied before with other teachers, other schools, and they carried that baggage of translating. And it was really hard for them not to. It was really hard to let go of that. It's really hard for me to create that awareness in the student. And I ask you to do that today. That's my request if you still have that, because it is really hard to let go of. And you now have to exercise that a lot. You have to make an effort to let go of that. It's a brain effort. It's a training that you have to do. There is no one else that can help you with that. There's no one else that can do it for you. And you will gain fluency. You will gain, when I say fluency, I don't mean just a level of English that everyone associates fluent English. I mean flow of language, flow of speaking. Speaking however you want, however fast you want it to be, whatever vocabulary structure, it just comes out naturally, and you're not overthinking everything in your brain. You're not processing English, translating it into Portuguese, and then making the Portuguese in your head, and then speaking English. I'm not saying that everyone that learns through translation will have a hard time letting go of the Portuguese. I'm not saying that. And I don't know, I can't say that because I've never taught anyone like that. But I have to say that the sample of students that I have that learned like that is more people have trouble letting go of that than not. So maybe you're an exception. Good for you. But I feel that even though it may take you longer to get to where you are by not using Portuguese as a bridge, it will, once you get there, you know, once you learn how to ride that bike, nothing will stop you and you just won't forget how to ride a bike. It's like, it's that perfect. The analogy fits that perfectly, you know? Probably if you got this far and you can understand everything that I said, you have a certain level of English, that you're not basic anymore. But if you're still struggling with the translation to speak, to produce language, let's try to get rid of that, okay? Send me a message, leave it in the comments. Maybe I can prepare a video that can help you with that. If you came this far without any translation, leave it in the comments too. I think more people should know that it's possible. More people should know that you do not need translation to learn a language, a second language, and it's possible to learn without it. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to tell you. My nephew is 2 years old and he pretty much can ride a bike, not because he's a genius, but because he is not scared of falling. Bye-bye.